A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Hello, Duffy's. Where do you leak me tea? Archie the manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Hello, Duffy. Tonight, Clifton Fadiman. Had a mental brain from the radio. Huh? Is he the guy who says what? Madam, what is your problem? No, Duffy, you're thinking of Mark Anthony. Oh, this is the guy that asked the questions on information, please. Very brainy guy. Huh? Yeah, maybe you're right at that, Duffy. What brains does it take to ask questions? Yeah. Well, anyways, we're stuck with him. Yeah. He's coming down to lecture to the Lord Byron Ladies Literary Society. Well, don't worry, Duffy. I'm writing the lecture for him, so he can't louse us up. The crowd here? The usual gang of crumbs. Yeah, but, oh, by the way, Moriarty just come in. He's very sore at the government. Yeah, for canceling last year's income tax. Well, you remember when he filled out his return, he chiseled so much he didn't pay nothing? Now he figures he's losing money. Yeah. Well, I'll call you back, Duffy. Okay.
Welcome to Duffy's. Come on in and meet Finnegan, Eddie the waiter, Miss Duffy, Tito Gazar, Peter Van Steeden and his orchestra, our special guest tonight, Clifton Fadiman, and Archie himself, Ed Gardner.
Hey, Mr. Archie?
Yeah?
Well, what happened to the sign?
What sign, Eddie?
The watch your hats and coats sign.
There it is, only I rephrased the words so that Clifton Fadiman will feel more at home here. Read it.
Let me see. Maintain scrutiny of thy chapeaus and hats. Nice and confusing, ain't it?
Yes, isn't it? It's a quotation from Shakespeare. Did you ever see any of Shakespeare's plays, Eddie?
One, As You Like It.
Well?
I didn't like it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he had an off day that day.
Hello, Arch.
Well, Clifton Finnegan. Hello, Finnegan.
Arch, look at this. Boy, am I proud. A poem by Crackpot O'Toole of Fortune. Dedicated right at me personal.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. What's the poem, Finnegan?
I'll read it to you. Some men is fools and morons, and some is even judge. But you, dear Clifton, combine them all. Nature has gave you the woods. Well, the guy must really like me, huh?
Yeah, he must. You may not know it, Finnegan, but that poem is written in pure cubic centimeter.
Centimeter? You mean he's going to charge me for it?
No, Finnegan, if he charged you, you'd have to pay at least a nickel a meter. Don't forget, that's an original crackpot.
Archie?
Oh, yes, Miss Duffy.
Did you see my Dostoevsky?
Your what?
My Dostoevsky.
Is it animal, vegetable, or mineral?
No, it's a book.
Miss Duffy, what would you be doing with a book?
Well, Clifton Fadiman's coming down here, and I don't want him to catch me not reading.
Well, naturally,
You see, if everybody stopped reading, authors would stop writing. And if authors stopped writing because nobody was reading, Mr. Fadiman, being a critic, couldn't read what authors were writing, and that'd put an end to his writing about reading. And the poor man would be out of a job.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Or to put it another way, if authors write and people don't
please,
read...
Miss Duffy, I don't think I care to go around again. Dostoevsky. Whoever heard of Dostoevsky?
Oh, you probably never even heard of Shakespeare.
Miss Duffy, not alone have I heard of Shakespeare, I happen to know Bacon, the man who plagiarized him.
Who?
Sir Francis Bacon, the man who wrote every word that Shakespeare ever wrote.
Archie, do you mean to stand there and say that the greatest writer that ever wrote didn't?
Yes, I do. Shakespeare, the so-called bard of Stratford Avenue. I maintain that he is strictly a phony.
Archie, how can you say such a thing about a man who's too dead to defend himself?
Miss Duffy, you dig him up and I'll tell it to him to his face.
Well, wait a minute, Archie. Maybe we're talking about not the same Shakespeare. What was the first name of yours?
William.
Yeah, that's the one, all right.
Of course, William Randolph Shakespeare. Besides, Miss Duffy, when you talk about guys like Shakespeare, it ain't necessary to mention their first names. Everybody knows who you mean.
I differ with you.
In what respect?
How about Washington?
Miss Duffy, if I went up to a strange guy and said Washington, I'm sure the guy would know that I meant George.
Not if he was selling train tickets.
If I was buying a train ticket, I would say Washington, D.C.
And why don't you say Shakespeare, D.C.?
Because I ain't going to Shakespeare, D.C.
Why not?
Because I can't get a room. Look, Miss Duffy, I got Clifton Fadiman coming down here to read my lecture to Mrs. Piddleton and them dames, and I got a lot on my mind. Pending our waiting for the arrival of Clifton Fadiman, Mrs. Piddleton, and Lord Byron Ladies Literary Society, you'll be simply enchanted to know that we will now hear a song by Mr. Tito Gazar, Mexico's answer to the Andrews sisters. What is the song, Tito?
I will sing that beautiful song entitled Si Bonet.
Well, that's your own prerogative. Go ahead and sing it. Ladies will please swoon.
Si bonai de mi sueño, si no oyes la queja de mi voz. Si bonai, si no vienes, ay, moriré de amor. Si bonai de mi sueño, te espero con ansia en mi cajón. Si bonai, si no vienes, ay, moriré de amor. Siboney, yo te quiero, yo me muero por tu amor. Ven aquí, que te quiero y que todo tesoro eres tú para mí. Siboney, al arrullo de tu palma pienso en ti. Mi sueño entero con ansia mi cadey. Si no viene, ay, moriré de amor. Oye el eco de mi canto de cristal, no se da por entre el rojo. Ay,
Tito, simply bravado. Mucho groucho.
Say, Mr. Archie, did that Mr. Fadiman drink coffee?
Coffee? I guess so. Eddie, why?
Oh, we're running a little short.
Well, add some chicory to what you got.
Okay. But chicory added to chicory is going to taste a little like...
Well, he'd probably be reading a book anyway. He won't notice it.
Oh, Archie, dear boy.
Well, Mrs. Piddleton, how are you? You're looking great.
Archie, you know I look a fright.
All right. What makes you look like such a fright?
Oh, I've had a terrible experience. Terrible. I had to come down here by subway.
Good gracious. The subway. How ghastly.
Well, there was no alternative. You see, my limousine is hors de combat.
Yeah, what year?
Hors de combat, Archie, a French expression, out of action.
Oh, you mean like OPA?
OPA?
An American expression. Out of gas. That subway must be simply livid for one to ride in, huh?
Oh, yes. One encounters such a bourgeois class of society.
Oh, simply bourgeois, yeah. Makes one sorry one went to the trouble of ducking under the turnstile.
Archie, then you have been in the subway.
Only in London. Of course, over there we refer to it as the lift. But so much for conversation. I'm glad to see you.
Well, it's a delight to be here again. The same, except poor Mr. Duffy. He seems to have aged considerably.
Mrs. Piddleton, that's the moose head you're looking at.
Moose head? Oh, Archie, I'm afraid you'll have to remove it.
Why?
My doctor's orders. I'm allergic to stuffed animals. Oh, yes, Mrs. Gribb. We're waiting for you and Mrs. Allen. Well, Mr. Fadiman isn't here yet. Clifton Fadiman. Oh, but dear, I can't help it. There's a moose here and it does something to my hay fever. I should do what? It already has been shot. Oh, yes, he's speaking tonight on literature. Dodo, Dr. Booth, Clifton Fadiman. Well, we'll wait for you, darling. Goodbye.
Oh, well, thank you. Mrs. Piddleton, the operator says Gesundheit. Hey, Eddie. Eddie, take Mrs. Piddleton into the kitchen. There, she won't smell the moose.
I see what you mean.
What, Miss Duffy?
Ain't that Mr. Fadiman coming in?
Oh, sure, Clifton Fadiman. Well, if it ain't me old pal, Clifton Fadiman. How are you, Kip, old boy,
I'm looking for someone named Archie.
Just a minute. I'm Archie. You had the pleasure of meeting me just a short nonce ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm wearing my wife's glasses.
Your wife's glasses? Oh, that's different. I can't expect your wife to know me. By the way, Mr. Fadiman, this is Miss Duffy.
Plaza 59970.
I beg your pardon?
Well, you're always asking questions, so I thought I'd give you the answer first.
Miss Duffy, Mr. Fadiman is an intellectual. He don't go out with dames.
Well, that intellectual I ain't. In fact, when it comes to dames, my taste is positively lowbrow.
Plaza 599. See you later.
Oh, please, Miss Duffy. Mr. Fadiman just came here. Kip, by the way, speaking of books...
Now, who was?
I was. Speaking of books, did you ever read any of the works of the famous poet and forger, Crackpot O'Toole?
O'Toole. What sort of things does he write?
Mostly sonnets and bum checks. That's him. Sonnets and bum checks. That's him over there tilting the pinball machine. Hey, Crackpot.
Yeah,
Crackpot, come here. Clifton Fadiman, meet Crackpot O'Toole. Crackpot, meet Clifton Fadiman. You two guys should have a lot in common.
Oh, you're a forger, Mr. Fadiman?
Crackpot, Mr. Fadiman is from information, please. Kip, you'll pardon Crackpot's ignorancy. He's been upstate, up the river, Ossining.
Oh, you mean in the clink?
In the clink, yeah, in a manner of speaking, yes. We can talk about it, can't we, Crackpot?
Why not? It was nothing. Only a few years for forgery. I made a little innocent mistake when I signed a check. I put 2 T's in Vanderbilt. The whole thing was laughable.
Someday, if you get a chance, I'd like you to get a look at Crackpot's adaptation of Shakespeare.
Crackpot? You rewrote Shakespeare?
Yep. I rewrote 23 of his plays.
How long did it take you?
23 minutes.
23 minutes, Crackpot? I bet you Shakespeare himself didn't even write it that fast.
Well, after all, Arch, I got an edge on the guy. I'm ambidextrous.
What's that?
Two-handed dexterous. I can write with both hands.
Mr. Fadiman, couldn't you use Crackpot on information, please, sometime?
But, Archie, we have a poetry expert, John Kieran.
Granted, but suppose you ask Kieran to quote you something, say, from Lord Byron. Could he do it?
Of course. He could quote whole stanzas. Could Crackpot do that?
Not alone could Crackpot quote whole stanzas, he could give you the whole poem in Byron's own handwriting.
Thanks, Arch.
Okay, Crackpot.
Sergeant.
Yeah?
Middleton wants to know when the lecture's going to start.
Oh, any minute, Eddie. Go over and talk to her. Keep her happy for a second.
I've been talking to her. I say Gesundheit, she says thank you. I say Gesundheit, she says thank you. I say Gesundheit, she says thank you. It's pretty monotonous conversation.
Well, talk to her anyways. Are you ready for the lecture, Mr. Fadiman?
All ready.
Okay, you ready, Danny?
Ready. Ladies and gentlemen.
Just a second, Mr. Fadiman. What's right is right. Danny started first. Besides, you ain't studied the lecture that I wrote for you.
You wrote a lecture for me?
You seem amazed. I'll go over it with you in a minute. Mr. Fadiman, leave us get started, huh?
Archie, did I hear you correctly? You wrote a lecture for me.
That's right.
And you expect me to read it?
Don't worry, there ain't many big words. And what ones there is, I wrote out in capital type. Here it is.
But I brought my own lecture.
Your own lecture? Look, Fadiman, suppose you was in my spot. Would you let every Tom, Dick, and Harry come in off the street and read his own stuff? How do I know it's clean? How do I know it makes sense?
Well, I was just going to talk about the rudimentary forms of iambic pentameter.
You see? Listen, in this business, we got to protect ourselves.
Well, all right, I'll read your speech, but there's one thing.
What?
If I get fired from information, please, can I eat here?
That I wouldn't advise. Now, please, leave us get going, huh?
Oh, Archie, when is the lecture going to start?
Any minute, Mrs. Pilton. Mrs. P., this is Clifton Fadiman.
Oh, Mr. Fadiman, I want you to know how seriously happy it makes us girls to have a man like you talk to us.
Mrs. Piddleton. These days, it makes girls deliriously happy if any man talks to them. Leave us get on with the lecture, huh? Trumpets, please. Thank you. Your man is improving, Mr. Van Steeden. Thank you. Ladies, I introduce a man who needs no introduction. So, without further introducing him, I present you Mr. Clifton Fadiman. A lecture, Mr. Fadiman.
Thank yous, one and all. Ladies of the Lord Byron Ladies Literary Society, my subject for tonight is contemptuary literature. I will discuss contemptuary literature from literature in the Middle Ages to books for children. Literature is divided into three parts: fiction, non-fiction, and... Archie, where's the third part?
I couldn't think of it. I went nuts. Go on.
Literature was started by the cavemen who used to chop out stories in stone with an axe, hence the term hack writer. This, however, was very hard on the circulating libraries, as people got tired carrying home them stone books. Besides, many times the stones would fall on the author, crushing him, hence the expression, pulp writer. This led to the invention of sheepskin, which up till then had only been used for diplomas. literature has gave birth to more writers than any other profession. Namely, among whom are Shakespeare, Bacon, Dickens, and Sir Walter Lipton. Among the French writers are Voltaire, Charlemagne, and Francho Tone. Say, Archie, you left out Mademoiselle from Armentières.
That's a different kind of literature.
Now, among the American writers is also a great assortment of literary authors. Just as music has its 3 B's, Bach and Bookhoven, American literature has its 3 O's, O'Neill, Odette, and O'Toole. Next comes the Russian writers, among who is Tolstoy, Rimsky-Korsakov, Dostoevsky, and the greatest Russian of them all. Oh, I can't.
Go ahead, Fadiman.
Ivanhoe. I can't go on with it. My reputation will be ruined. Ladies, the lecture is over. I thank you.
Well, Mr. Fadiman.
Yes, Mrs. Biddleton.
I've heard you speak many times. I've read every word you've ever written. Your books, your reviews in the New Yorker magazine.
Yes?
And there's one thing I want to tell you. In my personal opinion, this is the first time you've ever made sense.
To leave Duffy's for the evening, but let's all meet again at Duffy's next week when our guest will be Monty Woolman. Remember,
Duffy's where you late mate date. Yeah, Duffy, next week, Monty Woolley. Hey, yeah, the guy with the beard. Huh? The hot weather? Don't worry, Duffy. Nature takes care of them things. In the summer, he sheds.
The manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Hello, Duffy. Tonight, Clifton Fadiman. Is he the guy who says what? Adam, what is your problem? No, Duffy, you're thinking of Mark Anthony. Oh, this is the guy that asked the questions on information, please. Very brainy guy. Yeah, maybe you're right at that, Duffy. What brains does it take to ask questions? Yeah. Well, anyways, we're stuck with him. Yeah. He's coming down to lecture to the Lord Byron Ladies Literary Society. Well, don't worry, Duffy. I'm writing the lecture for him, so he can't louse us up. The crowd here? The usual gang of crumbs. Yeah, but, oh, by the way, Moriarty just come in. He's very sore at the government. Yeah, for canceling last year's income tax. Well, you remember when he filled out his return, he chiseled so much he didn't pay nothing? Now he figures he's losing money. Yeah. Well, I'll call you back, Duffy. Okay.
guest tonight, Clifton Fadiman, and Archie himself, Ed Gardner.
Hey, Mr. Archie?
Yeah?
Well, what happened to the sign?
What sign, Eddie?
The watch your hats and coats sign.
There it is, only I rephrased the words so that Clifton Fadiman will feel more at home here. Read it.
Let me see. Maintain scrutiny of thy chapeaus and hats. Nice and confusing, ain't it?
Yes, isn't it? It's a quotation from Shakespeare. Did you ever see any of Shakespeare's plays, Eddie?
One, As You Like It.
Well?
I didn't like it.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he had an off day that day.
Hello, Arch.
Well, Clifton Finnegan. Hello, Finnegan.
Arch, look at this. Boy, am I proud. A poem by Crackpot O'Toole of Fortune. Dedicated right at me personal.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. What's the poem, Finnegan?
Yeah, I'll read it to you. Some men is fools and morons, and some is even judge. But you, dear Clifton, combined them all. Nature has gave you the words. Well, the guy must really like me, huh?
Yeah, he must. You may not know it, Finnegan, but that poem is written in pure cubic centimeter.
Centimeter? You mean he's going to charge me for it?
No, Finnegan, if he charged you, you'd have to pay at least a nickel a meter. Don't forget, that's an original crackpot.
Archie?
Oh, yes, Miss Duffy.
Did you see my Dostoevsky?
Your what?
My Dostoevsky.
Is it animal, vegetable, or mineral?
No, it's a book.
Miss Duffy, what would you be doing with a book?
Well, Clifton Fadiman's coming down here, and I don't want him to catch me not reading.
Well, naturally,
You see, if everybody stopped reading, authors would stop writing. And if authors stopped writing because nobody was reading, Mr. Fadiman, being a critic, couldn't read what authors were writing, and that would put an end to his writing about reading. And the poor man would be out of a job.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Or to put it another way, if authors write and people don't
please,
read...
Miss Duffy, I don't think I care to go around again. Dostoevsky. Whoever heard of Dostoevsky?
Oh, you probably never even heard of Shakespeare.
Miss Duffy, not alone have I heard of Shakespeare, I happen to know Bacon, the man who plagiarized him.
Who?
Sir Francis Bacon, the man who wrote every word that Shakespeare ever wrote.
Archie, do you mean to stand there and say that the greatest writer that ever wrote didn't?
Yes, I do. Shakespeare, the so-called bard of Stratford Avenue. I maintain that he is strictly a phony.
Archie, how can you say such a thing about a man who's too dead to defend himself?
Miss Duffy, you dig him up and I'll tell it to him to his face.
Well, wait a minute, Archie. Maybe we're talking about not the same Shakespeare. What was the first name of yours?
William.
Yeah, that's the one, all right.
Of course, William Randolph Shakespeare. Besides, Miss Duffy, when you talk about guys like Shakespeare, it ain't necessary to mention their first names. Everybody knows who you mean.
I differ with you.
In what respect?
How about Washington?
Miss Duffy, if I went up to a strange guy and said Washington, I'm sure the guy would know that I meant George.
Not if he was selling train tickets.
If I was buying a train ticket, I would say Washington, D.C.
Why don't you say Shakespeare, D.C.?
Because I ain't going to Shakespeare, D.C.
Why not?
Because I can't get a room. Look, Miss Duffy, I got Clifton Fadiman coming down here to read my lecture to Mrs. Piddleton and them dames, and I got a lot on my mind. Pending our waiting for the arrival of Clifton Fadiman, Mrs. Piddleton, and Lord Byron Ladies Literary Society, you'll be simply enchanted to know that we will now hear a song by Mr. Tito Gazar, Mexico's answer to the Andrews Sisters. What is the song, Tito?
I will sing that beautiful song entitled Siboney.
Well, that's your own prerogative. Go ahead and sing it. Ladies will please swarm.
Siboney de mi sueño, si no oyes la queja de mi voz. Siboney. Siboney, yo te quiero, yo me muero por tu amor. Ven aquí, te quiero y que todo tesoro eres tú para mí. Siboney. Al arrullo de tu palma pienso en ti. Siboney, mi sueño, te espero con ansia, mi cadey. Siboney, si no vienes,
show.
Say, Mr. Archie, did that Mr. Fadiman drink coffee?
Coffee? I guess so. Eddie, why?
Well, we're running a little short.
Well, add some chicory to what you got.
Okay. But chicory added to chicory is going to taste a little like...
Well, he'd probably be reading a book anyway. He won't notice it.
Oh, Archie, dear boy.
Well, Mrs. Piddleton, how are you? You're looking great.
Archie, you know I look a fright.
All right. What makes you look like such a fright?
Oh, I've had a terrible experience. Terrible. I had to come down here by subway.
Good gracious. The subway? How ghastly.
Well, there was no alternative. You see, my limousine is hors de combat.
Yeah, what year?
Hors de combat, Archie, a French expression, out of action.
Oh, you mean like OPA?
OPA?
An American expression. Out of gas. That subway must be simply livid for one to ride in, huh?
Oh, yes. One encounters such a bourgeois class of society.
Oh, simply bourgeois, yeah. Makes one sorry one went to the trouble of ducking under the turnstile.
Archie, then you have been in the subway.
Only in London. Of course, over there we refer to it as the lift. But so much for conversation. I'm glad to see you.
Well, it's a delight to be here again. All the same, except for Mr. Duffy. He seems to have aged considerably.
Mrs. Piddleton, that's the moose head you're looking at.
Moose head? Oh, Archie, I'm afraid you'll have to remove it.
Why?
My doctor's orders. I'm allergic to stuffed animals. Oh, yes, Mrs. Gribb. We're waiting for you and Mrs. Allen. Well, Mr. Fadiman isn't here yet. Clifton Fadiman. Oh, my dear, I can't help it. There's a booth here, and it does something to my hay fever. I should do what? It already has been shot. Oh, yes, he's speaking tonight on literature. Don't know, Dr. Booth. Clifton Fadiman. Well, we'll wait for you, darling. Goodbye.
Thank you. Mrs. Piddleton, the operator says Gesundheit. Hey, Eddie. Eddie, take Mrs. Piddleton into the kitchen. There she won't smell the moose.
I see what you mean.
What, Miss Duffy?
Is that Mr. Fadiman coming in?
Oh, sure. Clifton Fadiman. Clifton Fadiman. Oh, you tip old boy,
I'm looking for someone named Archie.
Just a minute. I'm Archie. You had the pleasure of meeting me just a short nonce ago.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm wearing my wife's glasses.
Your wife's glasses? Oh, that's different. I can't expect your wife to know me. By the way, Mr. Fadiman, this is Miss Duffy.
Plaza 59970.
I beg your pardon?
Well, you're always asking questions, so I thought I'd give you the answer first.
Miss Duffy, Mr. Fadiman is an intellectual. He don't go out with names.
Well, that intellectual I ain't. In fact, when it comes to dames, my taste is positively lowbrow.
Plaza 59970.
please, Miss Duffy. Mr. Fadiman just came here, Kip. Kip, by the way, speaking of books...
Who was?
I was. Speaking of books, did you ever read any of the works of the famous poet and forger, Crackpot O'Toole?
O'Toole. What sort of things does he write?
Mostly sonnets and bum checks. That's him over there tilting the pinball machine. Hey, Crackpot. Yeah, Crackpot, come here. Clifton Fadiman, meet Crackpot O'Toole. Crackpot, meet Clifton Fadiman. You two guys should have a lot in common.
Oh, you're a forger, Mr. Fadiman?
Crackpot, Mr. Fadiman is from information, please. Kip, you'll pardon Crackpot's ignorancy. He's been upstate, up the river, Osling.
Oh, you mean in the Clink?
In the Clink, yeah, in a manner of speaking, yes. We can talk about it, can't we, Crackpot?
Why not? It was nothing. Only a few years for forgery. I made a little innocent mistake when I signed a check. I put 2 T's in Vanderbilt. The whole thing was laughable.
Someday, if you get a chance, I'd like you to get a look at Crackpot's adaptation of Shakespeare.
Crackpot? You rewrote Shakespeare? Yep. I rewrote 23 of his plays. How long did it take you? 23 minutes.
23 minutes, Crackpot? I bet you Shakespeare himself didn't even write it that fast.
Well, after all, Arch, I got an edge on the guy. I'm ambidextrous.
What's that?
Two-handed dexterous. I can write with both hands.
Mr. Fadiman, couldn't you use Crackpot on information, please, sometime?
But, Archie, we have a poetry expert, John Kieran.
Granted, but suppose you ask Kieran to quote you something, say, from Lord Byron. Could he do it?
Of course. He could quote whole stanzas. Could Crackpot do that?
Not alone could Crackpot quote whole stanzas, he could give you the whole poem in Byron's own handwriting.
Thanks, Arch.
Okay, Crackpot. Yeah?
Middleton wants to know when the lecture's going to start.
Oh, any minute, Eddie. Go over and talk to her. Keep her happy. Say.
I've been talking to her.
I say, Gesundheit, she said thank you. I say, Gesundheit, she said thank you. I say, Gesundheit, she said thank you.
It's pretty monotonous conversation.
Well, talk to her anyways. Are you ready for the lecture, Mr. Fadiman?
All ready.
Okay, you ready, Danny?
Ready. Ladies and gentlemen.
Just a second, Mr. Fadiman. What's right is right. Danny started first. Besides, you ain't studied the lecture that I wrote for you.
You wrote a lecture for me?
You seem amazed. I'll go over it with you in a minute.
Archie, did I hear you correctly? You wrote a lecture for me?
That's right.
and you expect me to read it?
Don't worry, there ain't many big words. And what ones there is, I wrote out in capital type. Here it is.
But I brought my own lecture.
Your own lecture? Look, Fadiman, suppose you was in my spot. Would you let every Tom, Dick, and Harry come in off the street and read his own stuff? How do I know it's clean? How do I know it makes sense?
Well, I was just going to talk about the rudimentary forms of iambic pentameter.
You see? Listen, in this business, we got to protect ourselves.
Well, all right, I'll read your speech, but there's one thing.
What?
If I get fired from information, please, can I eat here?
That I wouldn't advise. Now, please, leave us get going, huh?
Oh, Archie. Archie, when is the lecture going to start?
Any minute, Mrs. Middleton. Mrs. P. This is Clifton Fadiman.
Oh, Mr. Fadiman, I want you to know how deliriously happy it makes us girls to have a man like you talk to us.
Mrs. Middleton. These days, it makes girls deliriously happy if any man talks to them. Leave us get on with the lecture, huh? Trumpets, please. Thank you. Your man is improving, Mr. Van Steeden. Thank you. Ladies, I introduce a man who needs no introduction. So, without further introducing him, I present you Mr. Clifton Fadiman. The lecture, Mr. Fadiman.
Thank you, one and all. Ladies of the Lord Byron Ladies Literary Society, my subject for tonight is contemptuary literature. I will discuss contemptuary literature from literature in the Middle Ages to books for children. Literature is divided into three parts: fiction, non-fiction, and... Archie, where's the third part?
I couldn't think of it. I went nuts. One.
Literature was started by the cavemen who used to chop out stories in stone with an axe, hence the term axe writer. This, however, was very hard on the circulating libraries, as people got tired carrying home them stone books. Besides, many times the stones would fall on the author, crushing him, hence the expression, faultwriter. This led to the invention of sheepskin, which up till then had only been used for diplomas. Literature has gave birth to more writers than any other profession. Namely, among whom are Shakespeare, Bacon, Dickens, and Sir Walter Lipton. Among the French writers are Voltaire, Charlemagne, and Francho Trone. Say, Archie, you left out Mademoiselle from Marmontier.
That's a different kind of literature.
Now, among the American writers is also a great assortment of literary authors. Just as music has its three B's, Bach, and Beethoven, American literature has its three O's: O'Neill, Odette, and O'Toole. American writers, among who is Tolstoy, Rimsky-Korsakov, Dostoevsky, and the greatest Russian of them all. Oh, I can't.
Go ahead, Fadiman.
Ivanhoe. With it. My reputation will be ruined. Ladies, the lecture is over. I thank you.
Oh, Mr. Fadiman.
Yes, Mrs. Biddleton.
I've heard you speak many times. I've read every word you've ever written. Your books, your reviews in the New Yorker magazine.
Yes?
And there's one thing I want to tell you. In my personal opinion, this is the first time you've ever made sense.
Duffy's for the evening, but let's all meet again at Duffy's next week when our guest will be Monty Wood. Remember,
Duffy's where you leave me deep. Yeah, Duffy, next week, Monty Woolley. Yeah, the guy with the beard. Huh? The hot weather? Don't worry, Duffy. Nature takes care of them things. In the summer, he shed.
Special Service Division invites you soldiers, sailors, and Marines of the United Nations to drop in at Duffy's Tavern.
Hello, Duffy's where you eat meat to eat. Archie the manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Hello, Duffy. Hey, Duffy, you know who we got coming here tonight? Susan Hayward and Frank Buck. Huh? Well, Hayward knocks him dead and Buck brings him back alive. Huh? What does Susan Hayward look like? Well, Duffy, remember the first letter Mrs. Duffy wrote you? Yeah, before she hooked you. Remember it was a letter describing herself to you? Well, Susan actually looks like that. Frank Buck, well, he looks more like Mrs. Duffy. Hey, Duffy, if I got married, say to this Hayward name, would you give me a raise? A raise? A raise! Would you lower my salary? Now you can hear me, huh? Look, I make $15 a week. Say with overtime, tips, and bonuses, it comes to $15 a quarter. How can I support a wife and family on that dough? Huh? Send one of the kids out to work. What kids? I ain't even held a hand yet. Oh, why argue with you? Good. Now listen to this, Miss Duffy. A poem to nature by Anonymous, Archie. Oh, Mother Nature, how could anybody hate you?
What are you talking about?
Nature, Miss Duffy. You know, you ain't lived till you've slept out in the open with dirt for a pillow and a blue sky for a blanket.
Archie, have you been locked out of your room again?
Certainly not. I just happen to be a guy with red hemoglobins in his blood. A guy that likes to get away from civilization once in a while.
Why?
Because it brings out the real me. That's why. Besides, I read in this movie magazine that Susan Hayward goes for the back to nature type of guy, you know?
Well, and Susan Hayward's in for a big thrill tonight.
Oh, thanks.
When Frank Buck gets here. Now there, Archie, is a real outdoor man.
Oh, yeah? I bet you I've been out of as many doors as he has. Duffy, you just watch that Hayward melt. one look at me and she'll sweep me right off her feet.
Oh, them movie stars. Archie, if you men only knew how much mascara them movie stars use, how much rouge, lipstick, eyeshadow, face powder, eyebrow pencil, vanishing cream, cold cream, night cream, day cream, chin cream, neck cream, perfume, and toilet water.
How do you know they use all that?
'Cause I use them too, and I'm a natural beauty. Archie, did you ever see a movie star when they got up in the morning?
No, but someday I hope so. And it so happens, Miss Duffy, that you're prejudiced. Them dames is just as beautiful in the morning as they are the rest of the day.
How would you know?
'Cause I read an article by a Beverly Hills milkman. Tell me about Hollywood stars.
Hello, Art.
Oh, hello, Finnegan.
Hey, Art, should Frank Buck get here yet?
No, but when he does, I think you better stay under cover. He might throw a net over you.
So I'm anxious to meet him, Art. You know, I'm starting a little zoo of my own in my backyard. So far, I got a cat, a dog, and a fox.
A fox, huh, Finnegan? What kind of a fox? Silver?
No, terrier.
Finnegan, Frank Buck is only interested in wild game, carnivorous animals. Kind they show at carnivals. It's nothing to a guy like that to go into a jungle, walk up to a lion, look the lion in the eye, grab him by the legs, tickle him under the chin.
Oh, boy, that's fun.
Fun?
Yeah, especially if you do it to a dame.
Oh, Finnegan.
Hello there, Archie boy.
Well, Officer Clancy. Hey, Clancy, I seen you marching in the parade last week. You look mighty sharp.
Well, my feet felt mighty flat.
Well, why didn't you try to get mounted duty?
What? Then ride a horse for 8 hours? No, Archie, no. This way I can at least go home and soak my feet.
I see what you mean, Clancy. Why don't you stick around? You know, Frank Buck is coming down here tonight.
Frank Buck? And who might he be?
The big game hunter, the guy that brings them animals back alive.
Brings them back where alive?
Here.
What for?
To look at them.
Who wants to look at them?
Who wants to look at them? Everybody.
Not me.
Well, he brings them back anyway.
Who asked him to?
Nobody asked him to.
Then if you ask me, he's a jerk to be doing it.
Look, Clancy. That is how he makes his living.
Bringing animals over here?
Yeah.
And what happens when he gets them over here?
People look at them.
Not me.
You mean to say that if you saw a hippopotamus, you wouldn't look at it?
And how would I know it was a hippopotamus?
Because there's a sign that says hippopotamus.
If I could spell a word like hippopotamus, I'd be out taking the sergeant's exam.
Nancy, you are nothing but a thick-headed dope.
No, thicker than I am, and that's saying a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
What else is known?
Well, not a thing. I think I'll be running along now. So long, Archie.
So long, Clancy. We will now hear that beautiful ballad, I Just Kissed Your Picture Goodnight, sung by Clark Dennis, our tenor, who's happy to sing for a $5.
I just kissed your picture goodnight. And now, dear, I'll turn down the light. Your picture 'neath my pillow works like a charm, it seems, for you steal through my pillow into my dreams. You know we're not really apart, for we're still in each other's heart. So till the dawn, my darling, I'm sure that I'll sleep tight, for I just kissed your picture goodnight. Your picture underneath my pillow works like a charm, it seems. For you steal through my pillow into my dreams. You know we're not really apart, for we're still in each other's heart. So till the dawn, my darling, I'm sure that I'll sleep tight, for I just kissed your picture. Good night.
Pardon me, is your name Archie?
No, I'm Finnegan, but I know who you are.
Oh.
Susan Hayward.
Finnegan, please. Got your tenses mixed. That's Frank Buck.
Oh.
Well, Mr. Buck, welcome to the interior of Darkest Duffy. By the way, how do you like the joint?
Archie, I've never seen a nicer menagerie.
Well, I try to be a good manager. Mr. Buck, how's things in the big game? Pretty good?
Well, the orders keep coming in.
Orders? What do you mean orders?
Well, that's how I work, Archie. Zoos and circuses tell me what kind of animals they want, and I go out and bring them back.
You mean a guy writes you a letter and says, Dear Mr. Buck, please send 1 dozen hyenas assorted. 6 laughing and 6 crying. It means something like that?
Well, it's something like that, Archie.
Pardon me, Mr. Buck.
Yes?
How much would a tiger cost me?
What do you want with a tiger?
It's in our house. We got very big mice.
Well, Finnegan, a tiger would cost you about $2,000.
Oh, that sounds reasonable. What size tiger would I get for that?
Oh, a tiger about 10 feet long.
How high?
About 4 feet.
No good. Couldn't get in them little mouse holes.
Finnegan. Oh, Mr. Buck, have you met Miss Duffy?
Miss Duffy, I greet you with the words of the African Mambas tribe, Apamachum Monabuli.
Likewise, I'm sure. Mr. Buck, I'd like to ask you a question.
What?
Did you ever capture an animal known as a Persian-dyed muskrat?
A Persian-dyed muskrat? I never heard of it.
I knew it. That Vera Fogarty trying to tell me her fur coat is genuine and mine ain't.
Well, what kind of a coat is yours?
South American wild plush.
Did you ever catch a wild plush, Mr. Buck?
Not yet.
Well, I know, of course he didn't. The man who sold me the coat said they're very hard to catch. You see, they got such short hands, there's nothing to grab hold of, you know?
Them plushes is even harder to catch than a wild mohair.
Gee, Mr. Buck, you must have a thrill in life.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, don't be modest. You've locked jaws with death plenty of times, I bet. I bet you don't think no more of struggling with a lion or a tiger than I do with a fella. Mr. Buck, tell me, what was your most thrilling experience?
Well, there was a wild tapir that was tough.
A wild what?
A wild tapir. A beast I considered fairly harmless. I found him with a badly cut back. I tried to put some ointment on him, the bruise. Suddenly the tapir whirled, charged me, and buried his head in my stomach, knocked me flat on my back. I realized the danger and yelled for my native boy. Fortunately, he came running in the nick of time and beat the infuriated beast off. Boy, that was a close call.
I can Vera Fogarty saying hers was a genuine Persian-dyed muskrat. What was you saying about the tapir, Mr. Buck?
Oh, Miss Duffy.
Hey, look who just came in. The tomato from Hollywood.
Finnegan.
please. Mayor. In Hollywood, they are known as tomatoes. Mr. Buck, why don't you go over to the table and tell Miss Duffy the rest of that story about the paper?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Buck, you're very interesting. I'll never go to the zoo again without thinking of you.
Hey, look, Arch. Why did you brush off Mr. Buck?
Why did I brush him off? Finnegan, how many big game hunters do you think Miss Hayward wants to meet? Good evening, Miss Hayward.
Hello, Archie.
Miss Hayward, allow me to greet you in the words of the African Salami tribe. Appalachian okra gumbo.
Timbuktu.
You're welcome. Miss Hayward, may I say that Mother Nature has indeed been kind to you? Nose, them lips, that figure, them, oh, what am I talking about? You've been whistled that before.
Well, Archie, it's nice to hear about my nose and my lips, but... Oh, what am I talking about? You've been slapped in the face before.
Wait a minute, Miss Hayward. Don't get me wrong. Frankly, to me, a dame is a dame. I'd just soon chuck the whole affair and go back to the jungle.
The jungle?
Oh, certainly. You see, I'm only here in the States temporarily. Recovering from the bite of a tsetse fly.
A tsetse fly? Well, doesn't that give you sleeping sickness?
Don't you think my eyes open no wider than this? However, it's all part of me life, you know. It's a big game hunter. See this mark on my arm?
Mm-hmm. What's that from?
Kicked by a cobra. By a cobra. By a cobra. One of them African savages.
Archie, a cobra is a snake.
You're right. You can't trust one of them. But that's the law of the jungle. Either perish or die. By the way, did I, Trader Archie, tell you the most thrilling experience I ever had?
No, but I'm sure you're going to.
Well, if you insist. Well, sir, anyways, I was trying to put some ointment on the back of a wild tapeworm.
Archie, don't you mean a taper?
That's the male. Anyways, the female, this tapeworm, leaps on me, you see. Before I know it, she's fronting at me with a mouthful of fangs. So quick, I grab her by the nostrils, which forces it to open her mouth. Then I feint with me left and let go with a right uppercut and knock all her teeth out. Boy, that was a close call.
And you were safe?
No. There was still danger of being gummed to death.
Archie, that is a very old joke.
This happened in 1922. Well, sir, to go on, I faces this tapeworm, and raising me free hand...
What's the other hand doing?
I forgot to tell you about the tiger. Anyways, there I am, being attacked by them man-eating Ubangi, see? Their mouths is watering. They're just about to eat me. Eat me alive, you see. When all of a sudden,
Pardon me, Archie.
Mr. Buck, did you have to come in and spoil that dinner? Miss Hayward, this is Frank Buck.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Buck? Archie was just telling me about all of his experiences in the jungle.
Oh, yes? Archie, why don't you go to the jungle sometime?
I've been to a jungle.
What jungle?
Oh, a certain jungle.
Which one?
The Jingle Jangle jungle. And stop trying to make a sucker out of me, Mr. Buck, or Miss Hayward here is liable to realize that one of us is a phony. Right, Susan?
Oh, quiet, Archie. Mr. Buck, you must lead an exciting life. What was your most thrilling experience?
Well, there was that wild tapir, a beast I considered fairly harmless.
Okay, now, Finnegan, you all set?
All set, Archie.
Don't forget, crawl in on your hands and knees. I've got to convince this thing. Miss Hayward.
Yes, Archie?
There seems to be an opinion around here that I'm a phony. I wish to remove that doubt. It seems that Frank Buck has intimidated that I was never in Africa.
Well, were you?
Miss Hayward, the proof. See that creature there? The one with the war paint and the ring in his nose? Falling on his hands and knees there? Just brought him back from the jungles of Tondaleo. Watch this, huh? Here, Hambo. Miss Hayward, you are now looking at a genuine pig man.
You mean pygmy?
Nope, pig man. Half pig. Hambo, say hello to Miss Hayward.
Oink, oink.
Hambo, how does Miss Hayward look to you?
Okay.
Okay, eh? Pig man, tell me this. Did you ever in your life see Frank Buck in the jungle?
No.
You ever see me there?
Yoink.
See, Miss Hayward, was I lying to you?
Wait a minute, Archie. What is this creature?
An African pig man, Mr. Buck. Half man, half pig.
I don't believe it.
What?
He's half man.
No? You don't, huh?
Archie, why don't you quit this African nonsense? You know you were never there.
Mr. Buck, do I look to you like a liar? I said, do I look like a liar? I'll prove it to you. Pig man, tell the white goddess to come in. The veiled white goddess, no?
The white goddess?
The white goddess of the zombie tribe. I rescued her from the swamis down there on the last safari, you know? Oh, here she is now. Goddess, this is Mr. Buck and Miss Hayward.
Likewise, I'm sure.
Goddess, tell me, friends here, about yourself.
At age of 3, my parents broke law of jungle. I was left orphan.
What jungle law did your parents break, Goddess?
They poisoned cannibal.
How?
Cannibal ate them. So I was brought up by a couple of baboons.
And the goddess ain't kidding either.
Now, Archie, you shut your trap.
Why, Archie, she speaks like a city girl.
Well, yeah. She comes from one of the biggest cities in the jungle.
Yes, I am from Chicago.
There you are. Do you need any further proof?
Just a second, Goddess. What is the chant of your jungle?
Wait, is a chant what I think it is?
Well, it's a song.
You're asking for trouble. Goddess, let him have it. Shortly after this, I left Africa. No wonder that Tarzan doe was screaming.
I would never bring her back alive.
What do you say, Miss Hayward? Are you convinced?
Yes, Archie. I'm convinced that I finally met somebody I could really be interested in.
Well, now, Miss Hayward, that's wonderful. Shall we go out now and sort of make arrangements?
Oh, I didn't mean you, Archie.
Huh? You going out with Frank Buck?
No.
Then who?
Hambo.
before we leave Duffy's Tavern, leave us put a couple of nickels in Duffy's jukebox. Duffy's jukebox, where the feet meet the beat. Well, the platter's spinning, the needle's in the groove, and here's the first number coming up. Duffy's Tavern was rebroadcast especially for you men and women in the armed forces of the United Nations by the Special Service Division of the War Department of the United States of America. Special Service Division invite you soldiers, sailors, and Marines of the United Nations to drop in at Duffy's Tavern.
Hello, Duffy's. Where do you like me, Steve? Archie, the manager speaking. Duffy ain't here. Hello, Duffy. Tonight, Lucille Ball from Hollywood. The tomato with the carrot hair. Yeah, very nourishing. Oh, you'd like a dish like that, huh? But you also like blondes and brunettes, too. Where do you draw the line? Oh, you don't like bald-headed dames. Yeah. Well, Duffy, I can't talk now. I gotta get ready for good old Lucille. Oh, sure. Her and I used to be nips in the bud together. Certainly. She's from Brooklyn. Huh? No, when she was a kid, her parents migrated out of there. Yeah, to escape persecution. Her father was a Yankee fan. Yeah, Duffy. This is going to be old home week. Okay, I'll call you back. Goodbye.
Hey, Mr. Archer.
Yeah, Eddie.
That movie actress, Miss Ball, just called.
Oh, yeah. Good old Lucille, my dear friend and childish sweetheart.
Yeah. Your dear friend and childish sweetheart just called and wants to know who's Archie.
She was kidding, Eddie. Why, she and me was tomboys together. Gee, she was a pretty girl.
Yeah, she was a pretty girl. She was madly in love with you, and she would die for you, and she wanted to marry you.
You're psychopathic, Eddie. How did you know?
That's easy. I just thought of the truth and stayed as far away from it as I could.
Listen, Eddie, yesterday that might have been funny, but yesterday I was a nobody. Today, who knows? Maybe I will be. An old friend of mine is going to have me listed in that book of famous men. Who's that?
You don't mean whom's who?
Hey, whom's who? You mean who's whom? When you split an infinitive, you must first modify the participle. No, Eddie, this is a similar anthropology. It's called Who's That? Read this letter, Eddie.
Dear...
read the name of the publisher.
Human and Shyster. Dear boyhood friend Archie. How are you, Arch, old pal? I am doing very well, as you can see by feeling this very expensive stationery. I just remembered that you are an old friend, and consequently I am in a position to have your name listed in our book, Who's That? Since you are an old friend, this will cost you nothing. Always glad to help an old friend. Signed, your old friend, J. Wentworth Ashley, formerly Joe Clinker.
Yep, good old Stinker Clinker. Haven't seen him in years. That was his nickname, Stinker.
Why did you call him that?
And besides, none of us could stand him. So, you see, Eddie, with me name coming out and Who's That, Lucille Ball is in no position to snub her toes at me. I'm a somebody, too.
Good evening, Arch.
Good evening, Finnegan.
How do I look tonight, pretty?
No uglier than usual. Why?
Well, don't you know, Arch? I shaved off my mustache.
Finnegan, you never had no mustache.
No? I wonder why I shaved this morning.
Let me look at the back of your head. I thought so. I think you better shave it back on again, Finnegan. Look, why are you so worried about your looks tonight outside of what's obvious?
Lucille Ball's coming down here, ain't she?
So what?
Arch, I got naughty thoughts.
What do you mean?
I figured maybe if I play my cards right, she'll give me a free pass to the movies.
Finnegan, that's a very naughty thought.
Yeah, I know what. Sometimes I don't know what comes over me. Hey, this Lucille Ball, the red hair of hers, is that real?
Well, certainly it's real. Been that way for more than a year. Natural hair, but probably hereditary.
I don't believe in heredity.
Why not?
Well, look at my mother, red hair. Look at my father, red hair. Look at me, no hair.
Yeah, and interesting for my mama.
Mr. Archie, a gentleman is here to see you.
Well, if it isn't my old pal, my old friend Archie.
Wait a minute. You're not...
Yep, J. Wentworth Ashley.
Stinker Clinker. Excuse me, I mean, Stinker Ashley.
Oh, no, you can't say that anymore, Arch. It doesn't rhyme with Ashley like it did with Clinker.
Never knew it did rhyme. Well, how are you doing?
Oh, never mind about me. How are you doing, Arch?
Well, I can't say that I'm as rich as Croesus, but I've saved up a pretty penny or two.
Good. I'm glad I'm not wasting my time. I mean, I'm glad you're not wasting your life. Well, Arch, always glad to see an old friend. Now, let's get down to business.
Here comes the gold brick.
Archie, Schumann and Jester have sent me here to say that they would be honored to list you, the author of Duffy's first reader, in the 1944 edition of Who's That?
You mean I'm going to be immortalized? Gee, that's an honor, huh?
An honor? Well, just look at some of the names you would be listed with. John Charles Roberts, H.B. Castellanos, Cecil B. DeGaulle, and Mendel Wilkie.
Boy, what names? And my name will be there, too, huh?
Mr. Ashley.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Archie. And let's go over to the table and fill out this questionnaire.
Now, Eddie, don't let nobody bother me. I've got to fill out this questionnaire for Schumann and Jester. Let's see here now. Name, Archie. Address, 113 and a quarter, East 13th Street.
You've got to put down your zone number.
Zone. Oh, yeah. Upstairs in the back. Boy, Eddie, getting in this book is some honor, huh?
Miss Archie, do you send in an application to get on these sucker lists, or do they just pick your name at random?
What do you mean? The guy didn't ask me for no dough, did he?
If the day is still young.
Eddie, please, don't be so skeptical.
Archie, have you got another actress coming down here tonight?
Yeah, Miss Duffy, Lucille Ball. And what's wrong with actresses?
Nothing. But why do they always have to be girls?
They got a strict rule in Hollywood that all actresses have to be girls. Listen, why was you so late tonight? Where was you?
Down at the 10 Jolly Girls Lacey and Athletic Club canteen.
Them 10 ugly dames got a canteen now? Well, what do you do for the guys?
Well, first we give the soldier a cup of coffee, and then we ask if he has a sweetheart back home.
And if he has a sweetheart?
We just keep asking till we find one that hasn't.
Well, suppose you don't find one that hasn't.
Then we close for the night. But usually we find at least one.
What a man trap.
Don't worry, Archie. We have very strict rules. No jolly girl is allowed to kiss a fella unless he's been overseas. Gee, you should have seen the handsome soldier Vera Fogarty kiss tonight.
Mm-hmm. Whereabouts overseas had he been?
Oklahoma.
That ain't overseas.
You gotta cross the Mississippi to get there, and the ocean flows into the Mississippi, doesn't it?
No, the Mississippi flows into the ocean.
Too late. Vera's already kissed him.
I'm surprised you don't just put a pan of salt water in the joint and hop across it. The ocean flows into the Mississippi.
Duffy, could I come down to your canteen some night?
Oh, of course, Mr. Johnston. You can come down and sing for us.
Well, I'd be glad to. What time do the doors close?
Well, the doors are locked at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, the door's locked at 12 o'clock, but you're a strong-looking guy, Johnny. You can fight your way out. Listen, pay no attention to it. Go ahead and sing something. Sing that paper doll, huh?
I'm gonna buy a paper doll that I can call my own. A doll that other fellas couldn't steal. And then the flirty, flirty guys with their flirty, flirty eyes will have to flirt with dollies that are real. When I come home at night, she will be waiting. She'll be the truest doll in all the world. I'd rather have a paper doll to call my own than have a fickle-minded, real-life girl. I'm gonna buy a paper doll that I can call my own, a doll that other fellows wouldn't steal. And then the flirty, flirty guys with the flirty, flirty eyes will have to flirt with dollies that are real. When I come home at night, she will be waiting. She'll be the truest dolly in the world. I'd rather have a doll that I can call my own than have a fickle-minded, real-life girl.
Listen now, Eddie, I got to finish this questionnaire. Now, leave a seat here. Education. What'll I put there?
Oh, tell him the truth. Leave it blank.
Cut it out, Eddie. Let's see now. Education. For 3 years, I attended at the varsity at UCLA at Ann Arbor, Michigan.
UCLA? That ain't in Michigan.
Oh, huh? Okay, I'll change it to University of Montana. I know that's in Michigan. Let's see. University of M-O-N. Funny, Eddie, I went there and I can't spell it. Well, make it UCLA.
That you can spell.
Yeah, good. I matriculated from UCLA, where I graduated non-campus mentis. I got it down. What does it mean, Eddie?
That means with high honors.
Oh, naturally. Sure, Ph.D. Now, let's see. Postgraduate work.
What does that mean?
That means PG, you know. Correspondence course.
Oh, wait. Put in that one you took on muscle building.
Nah, I can't. Never got no diploma.
Never got no muscles, neither.
Hey, wait a minute, Eddie. Here comes Lucille Ball. Now, you better beat it.
Why?
Well, she probably wanted to be alone with me. You know, this is a sentimental moment. Well, Lucille Ball. Well, Lucille, you haven't changed a bit. It certainly touches me hard to see you again.
Who are you? It sure is a sentimental moment.
Who am I? Lucille, think of some of the nicknames of guys you used to know when you was a kid.
Well, let's see. There was one that we called Shorty the Jerk. That wasn't you.
No. I was a tall guy.
And then there was another one we called Handsome. No.
Come on, think.
Wait, you're not Sammy the Sissy.
Perish forbid. Look, Lucille, maybe I can refreshen up your memory. Remember how the gang used to get under the fire hydrant? Remember? Get under the fire hydrant, whole gang on a hot day, and you was such a snob. You always insisted on wearing the bathing suit.
Fire hydrant?
Yeah. Look, you remember Lefty's Metropolitan Museum of Pool? Where all the bums used to hang out?
Oh, now I remember you.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Archie, yeah. If I had told you my nickname, you would have remembered me in a second.
What was it?
I don't want to say it.
Go ahead. What was it?
I don't know.
What was it?
The sheep.
Perish forbid. So you're Archie, huh?
Yeah, and this is Miss Duffy. You remember her, the little homely kid that everybody said she'd grow out of it, and she didn't?
Oh, yes, I remember. The one who used to chase all the little boys, trip them, sit on them, and kiss them.
Likewise, I'm sure.
How are you, Miss Duffy? You look very, very lovely.
Very lovely. No wonder the dame didn't recognize me. She's blind.
You know, Miss Ball, it's surprising. You've been in Hollywood for years, and yet you still got a Brooklyn accent in your voice.
You're a nerd. If you'll pardon my choice of words.
Oh, think nothing to it. So, here you are, a Hollywood star.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, it's all a matter of what a girl wants. Hollywood, Miss Movie Star.
Brooklyn, Navy Yard.
You remember? But what I mean is, movies is all right if one wants to make a silly career of kissing a different fellow every day. One day, Clark Gable kissing you, and then the next day, Tyrone Power, and then the next day, Robert Taylor. Anyway, where could Papa get another cashier?
Look, Miss Duffy, please. Papa desires the monthly inventory. Go count the pickled pigs, please. Well, Lucille, oh, by the way, you don't mind me calling you Lucille.
Not at all, Chief.
Well, Miss Ball. You haven't mentioned how you like the place here.
Oh, yes, I have. Under my breath.
Well, let's hear it. We like ladies' comments.
This isn't a lady's comment.
Well, anyways, it's lovely to see you again. You don't know what it's been like, you know. You in Hollywood, me in New York, over 300 miles apart.
As the crow flies.
How else would I go? Yeah, I was afraid with all that horrible expanse betwixt us that our twains would never meet.
How tragic.
Yes, what? What was I saying again?
You were saying something about you being a nobody.
Was I?
Well, I assumed it.
Well, that's where you were wrong. I am no longer a nobody since I wrote this book, this Duffy First Reader. You remember, I always had a talent for writing.
Yes, I remember those fences in Brooklyn.
Not only fences, I used to write on... Well, mostly it was fences. Anyways, suddenly I write this book, and lo and behold. Overnight, I wake up, and who's that?
What's that?
Who's that?
Who's on first?
Lucille. Who's that is sort of a who's who of what's what in the world.
Well, now that makes it really hard.
Makes it really hard? What do you mean?
Well, now, if you and I take up where we left off, Archie, all the columnists will say, what's their name fell for who's this because he's in who's that.
Silly girl. Don't worry about it. What do you care what idle gossip mongers? And don't forget the old proverb. Any publicity is good publicity as long as they don't mention your name. Lucille, you look lovely standing there with that red hair of yours lighted up by the soft glow from the pinball machine. You know something about that hair of yours?
What about it?
Well, I believe in traffic rules, but that red don't make me want to stop.
I believe in traffic rules, too, but that complexion of yours.
What about it?
That green makes me want to go.
Great sense of humor. Lucille, you know, I'm filling out a questionnaire here, and there's a question that says type of woman preferred. What do you think I'm going to put down?
Female.
Well, yeah, but with a little coaxing, I could change it from female to red-headed female. And where it says name, I could easily change it from Archie to Archibald.
Are you sure you're not Shorty the Jerk?
Cut the kid. This is wonderful, Lucille. You and me working on this questionnaire together, you know. Sort of intimate, like sending out our laundry in the same bag. Hey, that's an idea, sending out our laundry together. You think there's any chance, Lucille?
Not as much chance as there is of getting it back.
Am I to take it that you spurned to be known as the future Mrs. Archie?
Crazy, ain't I?
Well, Archie, have you finished the questionnaire yet?
Oh, yeah. By the way, Miss Ball, this is Mr. Ashley. Mr. Ashley, Miss Ball, Mr. Ashley. May I present?
How do you do? I understand this is a sort of a reunion.
Biggest laugh we got tonight. Miss, this is old home week. You know, Stinker here is from the old neighborhood.
Oh, please, Archie. Miss Ball, Stinker is just a boyhood nickname. You know, children sometimes have cruel tongues.
But good noses.
Thank you, I think.
You can talk plainer than that.
Now, Archie, I'd like your opinion of one more thing. What kind of leather do you think the book should be bound in?
Bound.
Well, all books are bound.
Oh, I must remember that. That's a good thing for a writer to know. What kind of boundings have you got?
Well, Morocco, pigskin, pin seal, calfskin, suede.
Well, suede is nice, but I hate to think of them killing all them little suedes just to cover it.
Well, Archie, I'll be running along now. Oh, Miss Ball, before I leave, could I have your autograph? And, Archie, I would like to have you sign here, too.
Okay.
Thank you both. And, Archie, old friend, next time I come to see you, I hope I'll be bringing you news that you've been awarded the Nobel Prize.
Well, I'll be just satisfied with a Putzeler Prize. Well, so long, Stinker.
So long, Arch, and here's your receipt.
Thanks, You know, Lucille, is nothing like old friends. Hey, what do you mean by a receipt? Wait a minute, what is this thing?
Let me see.
I,
the undersigned,
agree to purchase 10 volumes of booze. How do you like that? What an Ashley that Stinker turned out to be.
Wait a minute. I signed one of those things, too.
How do you like that? An old friend from Brooklyn.
Yeah, and he sold us the bridge.
Now, before we leave Duffy's Tavern, Lee must put a couple of nickels in Duffy's jukebox. Duffy's jukebox, where the feet meet the beat. Well, the platter's spinning, the needle's in the groove, and here's the first number coming up.
street. Can't you hear the pitter pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on the red. Oh, but that's all over. I'm walking, baby, I'm walking in clover. If I never sin, I'll be rich as Rockefeller with gold dust at my feet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade. Oh, but that's all over. La da 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 da. If I don't ever sin, I'll be rich as Rockefeller. Life will be more complete on the sunny side of the street.
Duffy's Tavern was rebroadcast especially for you men and women in the armed forces of the United Nations by the Special Service Division of the War Department of the United States of America.
Duffy ain't here. Oh, Duffy, guess who's coming down tonight? Well, I'll give you a hint. Think of a beautiful face with hair hanging down over one eye. No, not John L. Lewis. His hair hangs down over both eyes. It's Veronica Lake, Duffy. Huh? Well, no, actually, she don't wear it that way no more. Now, you ought to see her. Face is as bald as a billiard ball. Oh, yes, a very beautiful dish, you know. Her figure, it's sort of petitely Juno-esque. Petite in some spots and Juno-esque in others. Like Mrs. Duffy? Duffy, I said Juno-esque, not Jumbo-esque. Yes, sir, Duffy. Veronica's one of the most beautiful dames in this whole world.
Yeah, her face beams like a full moon in April. Her shoulders have the whiteness of the blossoms in May. Her eyes twinkle like little snowflakes in December. What happened to June, July, August, September, October? The census cut them out. What? I promised to get a big name singer for the joint? Well, Duffy, I got that arrangement. You see, Panya Slavnik, the music teacher, is bringing a singer down that's one of the biggest names in show business. A chanteuse? No, it's a male singer. Yeah, a manteuse. What? Look, Duffy, if I say I'm going to get you a big name, I'm going to get you a big name. If I don't, I'm a dirty what? I'm going to get you an even bigger name than that. Huh? Okay, I'll call you back. Say, Eddie, you know, we have a distinguished guest coming here tonight.
Yes, sir?
Did you wash the windows on the side wall?
Oh, Mr. Arch, I've been watching that wall for years. I ain't found a window yet.
Well, find one and clean it.
We're sure getting particular here. First thing you know, we'll be using napkins.
Eddie, you read me mind. You must be psychopathic. Here. Look.
Napkins.
Two of them. Sure. High-class customers, you know, the carnage trade. And, Eddie, I don't know whether you know anything about napkins, but look at these. Feel the quality of that paper.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. I was in a place the other day that uses cloth napkins.
Well, that's possible. These days they're using cheap substitutes for everything. Well, speaking of the devil...
Archie, I hear Veronica Lake is coming down here tonight.
That's right, Miss Duffy.
For what reason?
For what reason? Well, far be it for me to say, but, well, what do you think?
There must be another reason.
Oh, yeah? Ask Eddie why she's coming.
Well, it could be the food here.
Food, Eddie, that'd be silly.
No sillier than the other reason.
As I have told you many times, Miss Duffy, it happens that I have a certain amount of personal magnetism.
You mean you attract maggots?
Veronica Lake happens to be a movie star.
Don't change the subject. You and Veronica Lake.
Yes, sir, I can see it already. The two of us sitting in the moonlight, holding hands. Swine hearts beating in diesel time. Her sitting on me lap, me kissing her kissing me. Me kissing her. Her kissing me. Me kissing her. Her kissing me.
Stay up there another 8 hours and you can get a pilot's license.
Oh, what's the use of talking to you? Hey, Eddie, dust off that mirror behind the bar.
Dust off the bar mirror?
Yeah.
This is revolutionary.
Duffy says he wants it so clean that he can see his face in it.
From 8 to 5, when he takes a look, he'll want to put the dust back.
Oh, I don't know. There's uglier people than Duffy on 3rd Avenue.
Oh.
Hello, Art. Eddie, I guess you was right. Hello, Finnegan. Hey, you're all dressed up tonight.
Thanks. You like this sweater?
Oh, very good. Goes well with them sneakers. Tell me, where'd you get the sweater?
My mother made it for me. She's just learning how to knit.
Mother's knitted it, huh? Wait. Hey, what's them 2 buttons doing in the back?
Started out to be long underwear.
Oh, it's a lucky thing you're dressed formal tonight. You know, we're expecting a very attractive lady of the opposite sex.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, who's the dame?
The dame is Veronica Lake.
Oh, boy. Veronica Lake?
You go for her, huh?
Oh, boy, George. I seen one of them candid camera pictures of her in a movie magazine with Alan Ladd.
Yeah, huh?
What kind of a candid camera picture was it?
Oh, you should have seen it, Arch. All she was wearing was a skimpy little bathing suit.
That's all, huh?
Yeah. You never seen such a bathing suit, Arch. There was practically nothing to it.
Yeah. Really, huh?
Yeah. I just couldn't take my eyes off the picture. Boy, what muscle that Alan Laird has.
Hello? Oh, hello, Duffy. Huh? The big name singer I promised you? Well, Tanya Slotnick ain't brought him down yet. If it's Perry Como, Mrs. Duffy would like a lock of his curly hair. But, Duffy, suppose it turns out to be Crosby. Oh. Just send a piece of his scalp, huh? Duffy, that's already been asked for by Mrs. Sinatra. I'll tell you as soon as the guy gets here, though, Duffy. I'll call you back.
Hey, Arch.
Yeah?
This new singer, do you think he'll make me swoon?
Well, with you, it'll be hard to tell. Hey, Miss Duffy.
Yeah?
Miss Duffy, that music teacher of yours, that Yasha Panyaslamik, is he a reliable judge of talent?
If he wasn't, do you think he'd hold such an important position?
What position?
He only happens to be the technical advisor to Western Union for all singing telegrams.
What? Didn't know. I only hope that he ain't trying to palm you off as the big name singer.
I wouldn't sing for you with a 10-foot pole. Besides, it so happens that Yasha is saving me for television.
Lucky radio. He's gonna put you in television, huh?
Yes, he's very complimentary. He keeps saying, Miss Duffy, your face will be just right for television as soon as some improvements are made.
Well, you can't help your face, Miss Duffy. After all, it's a matter of heredity. Look at that picture there. Look at that horrible picture of your old man up there.
I don't think it's so horrible. I think it's a very good likeness.
Miss Duffy, you're looking at the Buck Beer sign. That's your father's picture hanging next to it.
Oh. Well, I admit he's no Clark Gable.
He ain't even a Boris Karloff. Eddie, please, turn that picture of Duffy around so that when Veronica Lake gets here, it won't turn her stomach. Brother, it's a lucky thing Devil Air never seen that picture of Duffy. He'd sue him for lousing up the map of Ireland. Eddie, I wonder what famous singer Tanya Slotnick's bringing down tonight.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Caruso.
Don't be silly. Caruso's in Italy.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's Tanya Slotnick now. Hey, Yasha.
Your humble servant.
Did you bring that singer that you promised?
By me, a promise is a promise.
Quick, who is he? Where is he?
At the moment, he is outside gargling.
Oh, well, quick, bring him in. Hello? Oh, Duffy, the singer? He's outside lubricating his gargle. Well, I'll know in a second, but I got a hunch that it's either Bing Crosby or Dennis Day.
Archie, here he is.
Hold on, Duffy. I'll find out who it is. Yasha.
Yes?
Come on now. Bing Crosby or Dennis Day? Who is he?
Lope Balaguer.
I'll call you back, Duffy. Tanya Slotnick, how would you like a punch in the nose? What is a Lope Balaguer?
He is a singer.
But you said he was a Bing Crosby.
So we'll get him some loud shirts.
You promised me a big name, and you give me a guy named Lope Balaguer.
Please, my boy, Lope Balaguer is only being his stage name.
Oh, well, that's different.
Of course. His real name is Jose Balaguer.
In that case, I'll punch both of them in the nose.
Please, my boy, don't be so impatient. Lope What song you would like to sing?
I will sing Contigo a la Distancia.
Hello? Hello, Duffy. He's about to sing. Huh? No, it ain't Morton Downey. No, not Chauncey Olcott. No, not John McCormick. Is he Irish? Duffy, he's as Irish as Patty's enchilada. Well, now you just listen and see if you can guess who he is. Okay, let me turn him loose. You listening, Duffy? Okay.
No existe un momento del día en que pueda apartarme de ti. Ya todo parece distinto porque no estás junto a mí. No hay bella melodía en que no surjas tú, ni yo quiero cantarla si no la escuchas tú. Es que te has convertido en parte de mi alma. Ya nada me consuela si no estás tú también. Más allá de tus labios, del sol y las estrellas, contigo a la distancia, amada mía,
Oh, Duffy, you liked them, huh? Well, did you recognize whose place it was? Huh? No. Not Chang Chai Chek. Well, keep guessing, Duffy. I'll call you later.
So, Archie, what's the difference? He's got a big name. This boy is making the women swoon.
Oh, hey, wait. Maybe that's me way out of this. If I can get Veronica Lake to swoon over this guy, he'd get enough publicity to make him a big name. I can see the headlines already. Veronica Lake faints at Duffy. Hello? Hello, Duffy. Huh? No. Not Bobby Breen. Hey, just a minute. Veronica Lake just come in. Oh, yeah, it's dynamite, Duffy. You know, the kind of a dame when you see her on the beach in a bathing suit, you turn to your kid and you say, look, Junior, why don't you go bury your mother in the sand? Well, look, Duffy, I've got to go and greet her. I'll call you right back. Huh? What? No, not Carmen Lombardo. But you're getting close. I'll call you back. Well, Veronica, welcome to Duffy.
Hello, Archie.
Well, Miss Lake, may I say that I have long been a humble worshiper of your feet? Welcome to our hollow priests.
Are they as hollow as they sound?
Oh, the same old gay, witty Veronica. You know, you ain't had a meal here for 7 years. What's kept you away so long?
What's kept me away for so long?
Yeah.
The will to live.
Well, that's nice to hear.
But there's one thing that I can't understand.
What?
What holds this building up?
I am equally at a loss. That dress of yours.
What about it?
What holds that up?
Well, it's a hard struggle, Archie. You know, the law of gravity versus the laws of the state of New York.
Well, so much for pleasantries, Veronica. Leave us start the pitch.
What pitch?
Don't pretend with me, kid. Give in to thine own instincts. As Omar Khayyam himself once said, a jug of wine, a loaf of bread, and Tao. And if food be the music of love, very fine. So, what do you say we start out with a little necking, huh?
Well, Archie, I don't know much about you.
You think of a better way to find out?
I mean about your background.
My background is just as obvious as yours. Don't try to stave me off, Veronica. You and me could be very happy. We could settle down in Beverly Hills, maybe build a little house, and before you know it, there'll be 2 or 3 little ones.
Not before I know it.
Well, naturally, I give you a warning. So, what do you say?
Him.
Oh. Oh, Miss Lake, this is Miss Duffy, the fruit of Duffy's wedlock, otherwise known as the fruitcake.
How do you do, fruitcake?
Likewise, I'm sure. Oh, Miss Lake, this is sure a thrill. Just think, to meet in person a girl who was in the same picture with Claudette Colbert.
Thank you.
Oh, you know, we love your pictures in my family. Papa, that's my father. He cried at one of your pictures. He said it was just like the story of his life.
The story of his life? What picture was that?
I married a witch.
Your mother could say the same thing about I Walked with a Zombie.
Quiet, Archie. Miss Lake, I'd like to ask you a personal question.
Yes, what is it?
When all of those fellas in the movies kiss you, do you get a thrill?
Of course I do. I'm only human.
There, you see, Archie? It ain't the same as washing dishes.
Duffy, please get out of here, will you now? Veronica, what was I talking about?
Yourself, let's face it.
That's funny, huh? You know, with a sense of humor like yours, you'd be a wrap-up for me, Jim. But wait a minute, before you start getting too serious, Veronica, I'd like you to do me a platonic favor.
That I'd be happy to do.
Thank you. You see, we got a singer here, and he needs only one thing to make him famous.
A voice?
Besides that, the thing the guy needs is publicity. He's a crooner, you know, and if his singing could make somebody like you swoon, overnight, the guy would be notorious.
In other words, you want me to throw a feint?
That's right, throw a feint. How about it?
Look, brother, I ain't taking no dive for nobody's days.
Oh, Eddie.
Yep.
If this dame won't throw a feint, I'm a dead duck. How am I going to do it?
Don't ask me. If the hair in here didn't do it, nothing will.
Give me a break, will you? When his crooner starts singing, how about one small swoon?
Archie, I can't do it.
Can't do it, huh? Well, some people is actresses and some people ain't. Maybe it's just the lack of no ability.
Just what do you mean?
Well, if I asked Betty Davis to cry, I bet you she'd flood the joint in a minute. Here I ask you to pull a simple swoon, and what happens?
Well, perhaps if I heard this crooner sing, it might help.
It certainly would. Wait, I'll get him over. Hey, Lupe, come here.
Yes, Archie.
Shake hands with Veronica Lake.
Buenas noches, señorita.
How do you do?
Señorita, I think you are the most beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous, marvelous.
That's enough, Lupe. The help do not mingle with the guests. You just stick to vocalize now and make it real swoony. Huh?
La, 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 la.
That's it. Well, how about it, Veronica? Do you feel a little dizzy or sick?
No, I don't.
No, huh? That's funny, I do. Hello? Hello, Duffy. What? No, not singing Sam. Duffy. The guy's name is Lope Balaguer. Now calm down, Duffy. Relax. Don't try to advance him. The guy is just as famous as Crosby. Only nobody ever heard of him. Now, just a minute, Duffy. If we can make Veronica Lake swoon, will you be satisfied then? Okay. But if she don't, I'm fired? Look, be careful, Duffy. A remark like that might easily put a guy out of a job. Okay. I gotta make this dame swoon. Let's see now. Who looks like Sinatra around here?
I do, Arch.
Huh? You do?
Yep, I did. This late, get a load of this. Oh, nothing at all.
Well, nothing at all.
This dame just don't like music. Arch, I got an idea.
What?
Why don't we tackle it gently on the skull with the bone style?
We can't commit arson. I got a better idea. I'll make her swoon. Oh, Veronica.
Yes, Archie.
Veronica, come here. Leave me thrill thy luscious lips with a kiss. Well, how did you like it?
I'll take Finnegan's singing.
Eddie, I think Finnegan's right. There's only one thing left to do. Give me that fun starter.
Oh, where is it?
Right there, back of Duffy's picture. Wait a minute, Eddie. Don't turn that picture around.
Who's that?
Duffy.
Oh.
Well, that did it. Lope, you're hired. She swooned.
What did it, Arch?
Duffy's picture, of course. Why didn't we think of that in the first place? It just shows you, Eddie.
What?
The best laid plans of men and mice off gang agley in the face of a rat.
Duffy.
Duffy's where the elite meeting. Archie the manager's vacant. Duffy ain't here. Hello, Duffy. Tonight, Peter Loring and Mrs. Corbett Wells in a talking bird. Huh? Mrs. Wells talking bird. Now, don't get excited, Duffy. It ain't horsing. Now, this bird you can shut up once in a while. Well, you ought to see the bird, Duffy. It's wonderful. He talks, he whistles, he even sings. Huh? Oh, no? Well, can you pull worms out of the ground with your beak? You probably could at that. Well, you ought to see him. He's practically human. Huh? 4X. And he's got flat feet. Well, they call him a minor bird. He comes from the Malay Peninsula. Yeah, where the Malarians come from. Yeah. Yeah, Mrs. Wells found him in the jungle, you know, when he was just a little puppy. Huh? Well, what do you call a small bird? A gosling. Duffy, you kill me. A gosling is a Norwegian trader. Exactly. I'll call you back, Duffy. So long.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Duffy. Come in and meet Finnegan, Eddie the waiter, Miss Duffy, Johnny Johnston, Paul Weston and his orchestra, our special guests tonight, Peter Lorre and Mrs. Carver Wells Minor Bird Raffles, and Archie himself, Ed Gardner.
Harry, don't forget the announcement about the book, Duffy's First Reader.
Oh, yes, I'll make it now.
Yeah, orchestra, frame prep, please. Thank you. Go ahead, Harry.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, ever since Duffy's has been on the air, people have been asking why Archie hasn't written a book. Well, finally, it's happened. It has been written by the great genius.
Harry, please. Folks, he means it has been wrote. Manzel, watch your diction.
Yes, Archie has really wrote a unique book. It is called Duffy's First Reader, and there are chapters on mathematics, etiquette, history, and grammar.
Not to mention the autobiography.
That's right. And Duffy's First Reader is profusely illustrated.
And Harry, tell him it's got pictures, too.
Yes, pictures not only of Archie, but of the famous personalities who have visited Duffy's in the past. 48 pages of pictures and laughs. And all it will cost you, ladies and gentlemen, is the cost of postage and handling. In round numbers, 10 cents. That's all.
Hey, Miss Archie, now, this talking bird, what do they call it?
They call it a minor bird.
Why do they call it a minor bird?
Well, Eddie, that is difficult for me to explain to one not familiar with the natural habitudes of botanology.
Oh, you don't know, huh?
Look, Eddie, I never talk on a subject of which I am ignorant.
Now, that quiet, nobody could be. Tell me, why do they call it a minor bird?
Because it's a bird that ain't 21 years old.
What do they call the bird after it becomes 21?
Nothing. They die at 20. Would you like any more information, Eddie?
Yeah, keep it flying. Well, where'd you get all this stuff?
Well, don't forget, Eddie, that for a long time I was associated with the Explorers Club.
As a busboy?
Made of the water, they call me. Naturally, working in an Explorers Club, it makes one practically an explorer oneself.
I was a waiter at the Stock Club for 2 years. I ain't never had a baby. Well, what does this bird look like?
Well, it looks like sort of one of them molted falcons. Only darker.
More of a chocolate malted falcon.
Say, Archie.
Oh, yeah, Miss Duffy.
Who did you say was coming down here tonight?
Peter Lorre and a talking bird.
A fine choice they give me.
What's wrong with Lorre? After all, he has all the requirements you demand. He's a man.
He's too short. I never go out with small men. It ain't sportsmanlike.
Oh, he's short, but he's tricky. Anyway, what's wrong with short guys? Your own father is shorter than your mother, ain't he?
Well, they were the same height when they were married.
Yeah, well, I guess all that banging on the head has dwarfed him. Look, Miss Duffy, can't you think of anything but men?
Sure I can. But why should I punish myself?
Say, Archie.
Yeah, Harry.
Mrs. Carver Wells is here with the bird.
Oh, well, good evening, Mrs. Wells. We are indeed granted by your humble presence here tonight.
Thank you, Archie.
Speaking of jungles, I'm an old-time hunter myself.
You are?
Yeah, many's the time I hunted elephants, lions, tigers, hyenas. Yeah. Eddie over there used to be me safari. Priceless. Many's the time he has trekked me out of the jungle.
Which jungle?
What was the name of that one again, Eddie?
I'm sorry, this is the one you got to trek yourself out of.
Well, anyway, as I was saying...
Can't we hear the bird talk for a change?
Say, that is a very good idea. How about it, Mrs. Wells?
All right, I'll take Ruffles out of his cage.
Glad to hear a bird talk to me.
Is that the bird doing that?
Ruffles, whistle your favorite tune. Whistle your favorite tune. Whistle your favorite tune. Whistle. Whistle your favorite tune.
Better throw him a grape.
Whistle your favorite tune. Whistle. Now whistle my country tis of thee, Raffles. Whistle my country tis of thee. Whistle. My country tis of thee. Whistle. Now, Raffles, you're going to whistle. You're going to whistle heel, heel again. You don't hear? Heel, heel. Whistle heel, heel. Whistle really the song you like best. Whistle your favorite tune.
Now whistle your favorite tune. Yes. Now what Raffles, you're going to whistle your favorite tune again? All right. When you saw Duffy's picture, did you laugh? Raffles, what do you say to this pretty girl?
Likewise, I'm sure.
When you saw Duffy's picture, did you laugh? Did you laugh?
That's a very bright bird.
Whistle your favorite tune. Whistle your favorite tune. Whistle your favorite tune. Well, that's fine, Raffles, but you're going to say hello, Jojo? Going to say hello, Jojo? Say hello, Jojo.
Hello, Jojo.
Now, Raffles, change your voice.
Jojo.
Now, Raffles, I know that you have a tune you like best of all. How about whistling the tune that you like best of all? Whistle, whistle, whistle.
Hello? Hello, Duffy. Liz, yeah, Bert's here. Well, don't worry, Duffy, don't worry. I'm watching him. Yeah, besides. Anyhow, I got me hat on. Huh? What? No, Duffy, you're wrong. No, Duffy, it was not. Nah. I thought it was Gabriel Hayter. Well, gee, Mrs. Wells, that was wonderful. Ain't there nothing this feathered quiz kid can't do?
Well, Raffles can't give you advice.
Hello, Archie. Oh, hello, Johnson. Look, Johnny, I've been meaning to apologize to you. You know, I've been rough on you the last couple of weeks, and I want you to know that I really think you're a great singer.
Oh, okay, Bud. Now, look, about this bird. It happens that, I'm the singer around here, and I don't like to see a bird cutting in on my racket.
Look, Johnson, it may be news to you, but them birds was in the singing racket long before you was.
Well, I want you to know that I'm not taking second billing to a crow.
Johnson, what is your song tonight?
Sunday, Monday, or always.
Sunday, Monday, always. I noticed you left out payday. Johnson, sing. You were very wise leaving out that payday.
Won't you tell me when we will meet again? Sunday, Monday, or always. If you're satisfied, I'll be at your side. Sunday, Monday, or always. No need to tell me now what makes the world go round. When at the sight of you, my heart begins to pound and pound. And what am I to do? Can I be with you Sunday, Monday, or always? Won't you tell me when we will meet again? Sunday, Monday, or always. If you're satisfied, I'll be at your side. Sunday, Monday, or always. No need to tell me now what makes the world go round. When at the sight of you, my heart begins to pound and pound. And what am I to do? Can I be with you Sunday, Monday, or always?
That was very good. You know, we shouldn't really walk on you like we do.
Oh, that's all right, Arch. I'm like a rug, I'm better after a good beating.
Why do I try to get friendly with this guy? Well, Finnegan, you're late. You missed the talking bird.
So what? We had chicken for dinner.
But you should have been here, Finnegan. This bird really talks words, you know?
Sir?
Yeah.
Tell me briefly, what did he say?
Well, he said, what? Things like, take a bit, hello, Jojo, or Rebecca, hello, Jojo.
Sounds like a moron to me. Where does this boy come from, Mike?
Well, he's the offspring of Mrs. Comet Wells, the explorer.
Oh, I know quite a number of offspring explorers.
Finnegan, stop lying. What explorers do you know?
Oh, Dr. Presume.
Dr. Presume?
Yeah, Dr. Livingston, I presume.
The man's name was Stanley, I presume.
Mr. Dawson?
What's the matter?
Oh, look here. The man has been sitting over in that car. You know who he is?
Who?
Mr. Peter Lawrence.
Oh, Mr. Lawrence, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you make the rest of the gang here look less gruesome.
Please, Archie, I don't want you to think of me as a horrible person.
Oh, all right, I'll try not to then.
No, please think of me as a sweet, lovable man who makes certain people think. Sort of non-musical Frank Sinatra.
Sort of a Frankenstein actor. Yeah, but you don't scare me, you know. I work for a guy who makes you look like little Orphan Annie.
Who is that?
A guy named Duffy. He's half-baked.
What is the other half?
What?
What is the other half?
Ape. You should see him. He stands 5'6", sitting down on his stocking feet and has a neck that starts at his waist. Yeah, guy's all shows. In fact, when he buys a suit, he only buys the coat.
Well, what does he do with the pants?
His wife wears them.
Oh, he sounds like a monstrosity.
Yes, well, fella. Yeah, and he loves your pictures, you know. He's always so happy at the finish when you finally get the goo.
Oh, Archie, I'm very tired of that sort of picture.
Well, what are you going to do?
Well, you know, I've been offered a radio program where I can be something different, entirely different. A children's hour.
Yeah, it sounds like a natural for you. Yeah. Good evening, kiddies. This is your Uncle Jack, the Ripper.
I'm serious, Archie. I've always loved little children, and I'm going to write this program for them myself. Oh, it's lovely. The first story, you know, is about a little boy and girl.
Little boy and girl, huh?
Yes, a little boy and girl, and they are late for dinner because on their way home from school, they have fallen into a concrete mixer.
Oh, the joys of childhood. Where is their parents?
Well, their parents would have been there, but they were strolling down a country lane and got their heads cut off by a windmill.
This will certainly get the kiddies to take their milk.
I think so, too, yes. You see, so the police tried to find their uncle, but Uncle is busy in the backyard having a barbecue. And what do you think is Uncle barbecuing, huh?
Auntie.
Oh, you read the story.
Well, it sounds pretty good, Peter. Maybe you can get some plasma company to sponsor it. I like it.
Archie, do you mind introducing me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Laurie. This is Miss Duffy, the daughter of the establishment.
You know, Mr. Laurie, you're even less repulsive in person as you are on the screen.
Thank you. I've never seen you on the screen, so I can't return the compliment.
Thank you. Can I ask you a personal question?
Yes, what is it?
Do girls go out with you?
Oh, once in a while.
How do they explain you to their folks?
They usually say, Mama, see what I'll marry if you don't let me go out with Joe?
Well, Mr. Laurie, don't feel too bad. Remember, any girl who'd go out with you isn't worth having anyhow.
Look, Miss Duffy, I don't want to break up this courtship, but why don't you show Mr. Laurie around the joint? Entertain him.
Maybe I'll sing to him.
That kind of horror even he couldn't stand. Listen, take him over and show him the bird. Leave them amaze each other.
Okay, come on, Mr. Laurie.
Hey, Miss Archie?
Yeah, Eddie?
Crime on the premises.
Crime? What happened?
Somebody has stole a sandwich.
Perish forbid. From where?
From the free hors d'oeuvres counter.
Well, I just put up a sign. Free hors d'oeuvres. Do not touch. What a rat. Swiping a sandwich marked free hors d'oeuvres. Even a cop wouldn't do that. Larry, that brings us up to date in the case of the missing Salami.
Yeah?
We gotta find the crook now. You willing to take the case?
Frankly, Archie, it doesn't quite intrigue me.
Well, why not?
Well, you see, in the movies, the scene is usually more gruesome. You know, bodies on the floor and...
Bodies on the floor? Fadiman. Fadiman, lay down.
Oh, that's too gruesome.
Too gruesome, huh? You better lay face down. Now, let us start the cross-examination and grill some of these rats. And, Mr. Lowry, out of courtesy to you as our guest, I think you're the first rat we should grill.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, Lowry, now come clean. Where was you on the night of tonight?
Well, I came down here to Duffy's.
For what reason?
Well, I was out of my mind.
Out of your mind, huh?
The logical man to eat the sandwich.
Wait, this is a criminal investigation.
It sure is. It sure is.
Now, my dear Mr. Lowry, can you explain the location of your whereabouts during the misdemeanor of the sandwich?
Well, when the sandwich was stolen, I was sitting on that chair next to the free hors d'oeuvre counter listening to the birds sing songs.
Sitting next to the counter listening to the bird, huh?
Yeah. But as you see, when I sit in this chair, I cannot possibly reach up to the sandwiches.
Well, that eliminates you. Next witness.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Just call me Mr. D.A. Take the stand, please, for the third degree.
Oh, let me do this, Archie, please. Miss Duffy, where were you born?
223 and a half 3rd Avenue, 6 blocks from the Navy Yard.
He just asked you for your birthplace, not your hobby.
Now, Miss Duffy, were you ever convicted of a crime?
Oh, just once, a minor traffic violation.
And what was the violation?
Necking on the intersection.
Is that illegal?
Yeah, we weren't in a car.
Well, that's electing, huh? Proceed, prosecution.
Prosecution rests and needed.
Well, if we only had some clues, Eddie. Yeah. Eddie, take a stand. Say, oh, yes, 3 times.
Oh, yes.
Okay, the court is now in session. Eddie, do you recall the exact day that salami sandwich was made up?
I think it was Labor Day. Yeah. It must have been Labor Day because the previous Easter, everybody said, these sandwiches must be left over from Christmas.
What year was that?
Well, I remember Roosevelt had just been elected.
Yes?
And everybody said, Teddy's going to make a wonderful president.
Well, thank you, Eddie. Next witness, Clifton Fadiman. Now, tell me, Fadiman, did you steal the sandwich?
Doc, I got a lullaby.
You mean an alibi?
No, a lullaby. I was asleep in the chair.
Well, that dismembers you, Fadiman. Worry, I'm stumped.
Well, there's only one thing left to do. Cherchez la femme.
Huh?
Cherchez la femme. Find a woman.
No, Laurie. Let's get the case solved first. And then we can tell about these little guys.
Hey, Archie, I have an idea. What about that lady, you know, the bird that whistles the Star-Spangled Banner?
The Star-Spangled Banner? Europa. The case is solved.
Who's done it, Arch?
Just a second. Mr. Laurie, your alibi was that you were sitting down and so couldn't reach the sandwich.
Yes?
Mr. Laurie, are you or are you ain't a patriotic citizen?
I am.
When the bird whistled the Star-Spangled Banner, what did you do?
What,
I'll tell you, you stood up and stole the sandwich. Peter Laurie, you're guilty. Justice has trumped. The case of the stolen salami is solved.
Time to leave Duffy's for the evening, but let's all meet here again next week when our guest will be Ida Lupino. And if you have a half hour next Tuesday evening at the same time, remember...
Duffy's with the elite mainstream Archie speaking. Well, Duffy, yeah, that's right. Next week, Ida Lupino. I'm going to ask you to help me get Duffy's first reader scenario for the movie. Well, Duffy, by the way, have you sent away for the book? Well, why don't you? It's only a dime. Huh? You'd rather wait for it comes out in a cheaper edition. Okay, good night, Duffy.
Program came to you from Hollywood. This is the Blue Network.